Hey everyone, it's Deja from CrochetEverAfter.com. Today is our newest motif of the month and it's our third annual Snowflake. So it's December 2015 and every December I make a snowflake motif for you guys. And this is our newest one. So it's made, I've made it in worsted. You can make it in any size you want. So I'm only doing worsted so you can see the stitches better, but get some crochet thread if you want some nice small ones, or some bulky yarn if you want to make really big ones. But I'm using a G 4mm hook. The pattern is in the link, and let's get started. So to begin our snowflake, we're going to have a little tail for weaving in, and then put a slip knot on our hook. So I always grab my yarn and just twist it down. Then I reach through the center and I grab the yarn that's attached to my ball and I pull it through. Then pull on your tail to tighten that down. Then you're going to put your loop on your hook. So it's going to have a little open center in the center of our snowflake. So we're going to start with a chain 6 and then we're going to join that. So we yarn over from back to front, turn our hook down and pull through. Do that 5 more times. And 6, and then we're going to join with a slip stitch. So just insert your hook in that first chain, push through, yarn over, and pull through. We're using a pretty small hook. We're using a G of 4mm because I want this snowflake to be as tight as possible so that it will be as, pretty stiff without blocking. So you can block it, but you don't necessarily have to. So that's why we're using such a small hook with the medium worsted weight yarn. So now for round 1, we're going to chain 1, and that's just to get some height. And then we're going to single crochet 12 times into this ring. So I'm going to insert my hook straight through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. And do that 11 more times. Then we'll come back and join up and start round 2. I'm just making my last single crochet. Sometimes these will lay on top of your single crochets at the beginning of the round because there are so many. So remember, because this is crocheted around a ring, you can just kind of pull on it to pull it out of the way. And then another thing I like to remind people, if they've never seen any of my videos before, if you're losing count of your single crochets and you're brand new, it's really difficult. It's even difficult for me to count the front of these stitches. I could not tell you how many I had trying to just count these squished up loops. So always turn your work sideways and look at the top of your stitches. So each of your stitches looks like the letter V, so just count all of those V's. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that's also going to help you when you join, because you want to join in this first single crochet. So if you count backwards when you get to 12, that's where you're inserting your hook to do your slip stitch to join the round. So just insert your hook right through the top 2 loops. And this first one sometimes can be kind of tight because it's that very first single crochet. So just kind of get under there, yarn over and pull through both those loops, and then pull through the loop on your hook. So now we have round 1 down and we're ready for round 2. Okay, round 2 is going to be an easy round as well. So we're going to chain 3 first, and that's going to count as our very first double crochet. And then we're going to double crochet in the next stitch. So this one that we joined, that's going to count as our first stitch. That chain 3 is going to count as a stitch right here in this stitch. So double crocheting in our next stitch, we look for that V. So just look right to the left, or to the right if you're left-handed, and go under those top 2 loops and do your double crochet. So yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the second 2. Then we're going to start our repeat. So this is what we're going to do for the rest of the round. We're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make them nice and even chains. Keep them the size of your shaft. Don't make them too loose because this is going to be part of the design. You don't want these real loopy and inconsistent. So when you make them the size of your shaft so that they all look the same. Then we're going to double crochet 2 times, or once in the next 2 stitches. So again, here's where we made our last double crochet. You can see the little hole, and if I pull up on it you can see. So we look to the left or to the right if you're left-handed and go under the next double crochet. We're not skipping any, or the next single crochet. We're not skipping any stitches. We are just going right into the next. We're creating a bigger motif by creating those chain 5s. So again, let me show you the chain 5s. Yarn over, point your hook down, so that way you don't have to pull out your chain. So if you find like you have to make a really big chain to get your hook through, because if I pull it out real big, I can turn my hook any way I want to and get through it. But to make your chain the same size as your shaft, just point your hook straight down at the stitch and you'll get through it nice and easy. That's not going to work if I hold my hook sideways. I'm going to get stuck. So point it straight down, pull through, push it to the size of your shaft, and do that 5 times. Then when I make this first double crochet, it's going to loop on itself. So when I first pull it up, notice that the chain kind of wraps around my hook, so it makes it a little difficult to work. So you can kind of just push it out of the way or get through those first 2 and then push it back and hold it down. So that way you can get through it nice and easy because it wants to turn on itself. So we're going to do that now 1, 2, 4 more times technically. Oop, let's stop 1 more double crochet here. 3 more times technically. So 3 more times with the chain 5 and double crochet, and then we'll meet up at the end to do the last chain 5 and to join it up. Now I'm just doing the last chain 5 in the instructions. That's to make the last loop of our circle. And then we're going to join the round with a slip stitch in the top of our chain 3. So we just count 1, 2, 3, those little V's. Insert your hook in, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now we have a nice little kind of flower, which would be a cute motif for a small flower, so you can double this up as something else. But we're going to start round 3 with a chain 1. This one is pretty simple. We're going to single crochet in the same stitch as the join. So where we joined, where we made this chain 1, we're going back in. So you'll kind of see a big hole right there. You're going to insert your hook right in that hole and do a single crochet. We're not going to count our chain 1 as a single crochet because it never really looks like one. Chain 3s can kind of get poofy and look like a double crochet, but a chain 1 just always gets squished and doesn't really look like a stitch. So I always like to put a single crochet there. Then we're going to picot. So this picot is a chain 4 picot. If you look at your special stitches, it tells you what to do, but it's pretty basic. We're going to do chain 4, and we're going to make them nice and consistent like we did with our chain 5. And then we're going to slip stitch in that very first chain that we just made. So you can count back 4 if you're not used to seeing these. If you know where they're at, just go ahead and slip stitch in there. And that's going to give us our little snowflake point. Then we're going to single crochet in our next stitch. So these double crochets are going to be single crocheted into. So if you look, it's kind of difficult sometimes to see where that double crochet comes out of. You'll see that big stitch we just worked into, and then this little V right next to it is where our double crochet, or our single crochet is going into our double crochet. So it's kind of small, so just make sure you're looking for those V's. So single crochet there. Then we have a little pattern repeat. So in our chain 5 space, we're going to do a bunch of stitches. We're going to start with a single crochet, and then we're going to build up to get higher. Now we're going to do a half double crochet. Then we're going to do a double crochet. Let me get through that loop there. Then we're going to create like another point, but without any kind of slip stitching. We're just going to chain 4. So again, make those nice and tight, nice and consistent. Then we're going to work our way back down. So now we're going to do another double crochet, then a half double crochet. Oops, get stuck there on the other loop, and then a single crochet. And then we start our process all over again. So that's one of our loops. We do the single crochet, so now we're going to single crochet in our double crochet. So sometimes these are going to cover over this double crochet, so make sure you pull all these over out of the way and look for that V that's right on top of your stitch. So single crochet in there. We're going to picot, so chain 4, slack here, slip stitch. You'll notice I kind of like stop and grab because it's hard to get straight through a slip stitch with both loops in one swipe, so I always kind of do one at a time and move my stitches as I need to get through them. Then we're going to do our little build up again, our single, half double, double, chain 4, another double, half, and then single. So it goes up and then back down, and then we start over. So go ahead and finish the rest of this round and we'll join and look at the finished item. I just finished the last single crochet. Now I'm going to join. So we have our picot, our double crochet from below. So you just join right in the top of that first single crochet, which is right above the double crochet. You can see the V right here. So we insert our hook under the V, pull through the loop on your hook. Then I'm going to chain and pull it long to fasten off. And then we only have 2 ends to weave in, which is nice. So you have your center and this top one, so I'm going to weave this in and then we'll check out the finished item. I finished weaving in the ends, so I didn't really pull it out or anything, so this is kind of what it looks like when I finish. So as you go, or once you finish, you can kind of pull on it to get it all nice and straightened out and flat. So this doesn't necessarily need any blocking if you like the look of it how it is. You can block it if you want kind of more pointy points to give it more of a snowflake effect. And I have the other snowflake video, the original first snowflake from December 2013 now, and it shows you how to block these, so if you need to see how to block those, you can check out that video. But this is great in any size, so if you get the crochet thread, you can make them as ornaments, or this could be an ornament too because it's not super huge, but you could hang that as an ornament, or a little garland would be really cute. But the crochet thread, you could make it as present decorations. So get some craft paper and some white crochet thread and like glue them to the paper on the crochet or your presents. That would be really pretty. But lots of different uses for these. So if you have any questions, leave them below, and thank you for watching.